Back at it again, SeeJeanty on Nou Pale, where we interview and talk to some of the most productive people in Haiti and who are engaged in investment, entrepreneurial activity, or just the social welfare of this country geared towards self-sufficiency and self-sustainability. My guest today, thank you so much. Is a doctor? I can say Dr. Jean-Louis, since you do have your doctorate from Liberty University.
That's fine.
And so Dr. Jean-Louis is here with us today, and it's an absolute pleasure. He's a guy I've been trying to get on camera for a long time. His schedule, and you'll see why in a moment why it's so hard to get him fixed down somewhere. He's a very busy fellow, but he's here today, and he's going to talk about a lot of things that I feel my audience on SeeJeanty, and particularly the business-minded folks, are going to appreciate and really connect with. Let's see if I can get this resume down so we understand who's in front of us here. First off, Dr. Jean-Louis has he runs an NGO called Parole et Action. Excusez français, je suis un peu. Parole Action is the NGO he runs. It's a very impactful NGO that does not only looks for social welfare opportunities, but does it in partnership with the local folks who are there and structure every venture in a way where the folks are able to sustain and persist that development long after. We'll talk about that. Also, he heads Bridge Capital, which is a investment company that does a lot of different things, but primarily looks for SMEs here in Haiti and helps them get to that next level, help bridge that gap between what they need and where they want to be. Next off, he was a former university professor at University Quisqueya, okay, teaching business and economics and different issues. Okay. And then he is a published author, from trade to aid, how aid organizations, businesses, governments can work together, and lessons from Haiti. This is what originally connected me and had me know who Dr. Jean-Louis is, and ultimately, led me to reach out to him, start a conversation, and a few years later, here we are, still connected, and I'm able to bring what he's doing to you. We're going to talk about this. And also, he heads Partners Worldwide, which is an organization that is a multi-front behemoth that is working with many associates from many different backgrounds, at many different levels, ultimately with the core idea of jobs. How do we bring jobs in the country? How do we drive that growth? Because at the end of the day, what Haiti lacks more than anything is jobs, right? So, Dr. Jean-Louis, thank you so much for being here. And whatever I've missed, I'm going to give you the opportunity to fill the gaps and let the users, my viewers, hear about you and your story directly from you.
Well, Chris, I think you've pretty much covered many different areas. My main focus is job creation in Haiti, and I do it through different initiatives and activities involving in education, private investment. Mostly my investments are, the investment company that I run is specialized in bringing fresh investment from the U.S. and from other countries too. It's FDI, foreign direct investment. That's where we specialize. And so all of that is to help support, connect, trigger growth in the economy to create wealth, create jobs so the economy can move forward, and then we can help people improve their lives. And I remember when I had just gotten back from my studies, and I was friend with a missionary, and I told him, look, from Haiti, I want to build a global reach. I want to be known to the world as a Haitian that brings value to people in my homeland and in the far world. And then he had laughed at me at the time because he didn't see how this was going to happen. But it happened all right. It happens even beyond what I had expected, and that's been a great source of of wealth to me personally to help me grow, connect, resource, and help things move forward.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
And I agree because from what I know of your work, it's spurred conversation from coming to Partners Worldwide groups and meetings and just knowing what you've been doing with your book. It's been bringing a lot of different folks to the table that weren't thinking about Haiti in that way or in a particular way that was appropriate. I really want to talk about this book, From Aid to Trade. And I've many times, if my viewers who've watched me on YouTube and know I'm an active responder to my comments, I've linked to this book several times. It's a book that really breaks down from almost academic perspective, even though you have to be an academic to appreciate it, because we're not using big old esoteric words, right? We're using regular words, but nonetheless, it provides, you're brought in at the ground level where you're viewing specific businesses, their specific struggles, but more importantly, though, we're providing a way out through each case, specific to charity, specific to not-for-profit work. As folks who've been following me for a while know that I don't knock not-for-profit or not charity work. There is a need, a serious need in Haiti for it. But there's a right way to do it. There's a right way to do it where we're not going in competition with some of the businesses here. And so when you're finished with the aid, folks can still find work, still find jobs, and ultimately so they can sustain themselves afterwards. And this book has been great in providing a guide to folks, bringing in backpacks, bringing in school supplies, needed. But let's think about doing it where you're buying the supplies from local merchants, buying the supplies, the backpacks. There's great backpack producers here in the country. So Daniel, what inspired this book? I know. It was basically I had these inclinations, but you put this in text clearly. Sort of what were you seeing, and what sort of made you say, okay, I need to put this in a book form and really drive that point home. What were you seeing that inspired?
Yeah, I've all my life I've been I am 100% always gonna be in Haiti. That's clear to me. All my choices, good or bad, plugging away. My conviction is the United States was poor in the early 1900 or 1800. And to see how they have come to the point where their GDP per capita is almost $60,000 a year is a marvelous thing. To become a country the richest country in the world. And if you see in the last 20 and 40 years or so, many different countries that were down the gutter and now have been able to provide an economic environment to create enough wealth for their citizens can enjoy. In my travel, in my conversations, in my lectures, in my conferences, I needed to provide a reference because it didn't exist. A lot of the books that have been written about Haiti were written by foreigners. The ones written by Haitians were not, I don't know if they did a good job in marketing or so, but they're not really well known. I wanted to produce a book that connects both with investors, nonprofit organizations, and NGOs, because the three major players in the economic system in Haiti today. In the society, you have the private sector, the government, and the NGOs. How then do I provide in a clear, practical, pragmatic way, present the problem that is caused in the society when those three entities interact, as well as providing exact solutions that people can apply. And so, coming out naive, I'd never written a book before, so I thought this was going to take me 6 months. The whole experience took about 4 years.
Sounds about right.
To put a book like this on paper and concept paper in a way that it's practical, and the book has been a huge success. We sold about 15,000 copies globally in downloads and digital formats, etc. This book has been a reference, like you said, for people who want to have a clear picture of, look, what is it the problem that the aid is causing into the economy, and how we can move forward past that. Or basically, how can we use the NGO system, the aid system, to turn that from a toxic way into a productive force to trigger the economy forward. And that's exactly what we provided. It's a framework. We provided a new economic framework, brand new, no one has ever thought about it, called OBED. It's the Opportunity-Based Economic Development. Basically, in OBED, you turn the asset and liabilities into society into productive and marketable opportunities. So basically, we provide a way to turn the aid that is unproductive and toxic, to turn it into marketable opportunities that can be an asset for society to leverage and move forward.
So, and I want to point out one particular story in this book before moving on that really struck home to me, and that was the story of the soap company, the company that was producing soap bars. And when the crisis occurred, I believe it was the earthquake that happened. And so, well-intentioned charity and NGOs were just shoveling cargo containers, dooms of soap, free soap. And this company was around for generations producing and had a very well-mature supply line and sellers. But when those free containers of soap came into the market, they eviscerated them. I mean, a company that survived the 1990, late 80s Duvalier ship and then so many, the embargo, they survived that, but they could not survive the just tons and tons and tons of free soap that you can't compete against free, you can't compete against zero. And ultimately they went out of business. Now, if instead those NGOs, charities had reached out to them, and that money that was being purchased was purchased through them, or the NGOs or the not-for-profit said, hey guys, buy from here. Here's a list of companies that are here, Haitian, and you can buy from them. We know they can deliver because they could deliver, and they'll get it to them. And this way, it's a win-win. Folks who need it can get it, but yet there's still jobs and money coming in. So that's how you structure win-win. And that story really brought home to me just the importance of how we need to think about how we structure what we do in Haiti, so that we really do good instead of think we're doing good, but yet we're moving folks backward.
Well, I mean, if we were doing so much good, the economy would be in a better state. So basically, one of the key concepts of the solution in the book is to buy locally. Is one of the key solutions. It's not just our opinion. It's the world of empirical research and connection we had within the companies, interviewing them, collecting data. When NGOs buy from the Haitian companies, they experience exponential growth. And vice versa, when they don't buy from them and they bring all the subsidized stuff in kind into the economy, it produced the exact opposite. And at this point in time, this is where we get to the conclusion, look, the idea of partnering is for the NGOs to bring in dollars instead of goods and articles and buy from the local businesses so they can keep moving the economy. No country in the world has made it out of poverty without a good economy. None. And to have a good economy, you need businesses. The businesses drive the economy. Businesses create jobs. Businesses are the channels, the body that creates wealth. The ability not to have businesses and have businesses under attack within the economy is a recipe for disaster, and that's what we've had in the last 50 years. So what we're saying here is the reverse. Help while supporting the local market. And that's the key point. This is the key point of supporting a flourishing market in Haiti is the key to have a good economic transformation. A lot of people try to take this book the wrong way. You know, it says, oh, let's get rid of all the NGOs. Ultimately, that's what needs to happen. NGOs have to phase themselves out of the business. But we're talking about a transition where people's needs have to be met. At the same time, has to be enough resources to meet those needs as we transition towards the new model, where businesses will sustain those growth and people will have an income to buy those needs,
Right.
which is the degree of normalcy in any healthy economy.
Yep.
We don't have this right now. The average Haitian has less than $2 of purchasing power. That's not enough to sustain themselves,
Yep.
because their needs about $8 to $10 a day. And having the mind, having the resources, having also the strategy, also the culture, establishing a culture of entrepreneurship and growth, because at some point in time, culture trumps strategy. Culture will outweigh strategy. Establishing the culture of investment and nourishing the economy like a tree. You plant that tree, you need to nurture it, to protect it, to provide it. Most economies in the world are protected, except our economy. Our market is being invaded by a lot of different forces, even with the government actions. Government trying to subsidize rice here. Talking about, the actions of President Clinton in 1995.
Just a few weeks ago, they were going hand in hand, asking for subsidized rice, which is mind-blowing.
Yeah. Well, recently the government put out $150 million to subsidize the rice importer into Haiti.
Exactly.
And 2 years ago, they kept doing that by subsidizing rice into the economy.
Meanwhile, $150 million would have gone so far. It will go so far in Artibonite, in
the
Ganas,
local farmers.
Local farmers.
Agriculture is subsidized everywhere in the world.
True.
Except for Haiti. The country that needs the most subsidy in agriculture is not getting it. So who's talking about those issues? Who's talking about, when people talk about Haiti, it's either, well, there's too much violence, there's too much chaos, inequality, too much poverty. But those are effects. They are reasons why they happen. But who is talking about those issues? Who is alerted enough? Who is knowledgeable enough to not get distracted by the effect, but goes into the causes, analyze them, bring them into the public, the everyday guy who can make a decision and modify their behavior and focus right back into the economy. Without that focus, we'll put less attention to the economy. Without less attention, we put in less resources. Put less resources into the economy, get you the poverty that you have today. So we're talking about this enough. Unless the diaspora talks about this enough, unless the diaspora stop complaining and dive into the real issues why Haiti is poor, instead of complaining or looking at Haiti from far in a superficial way, they have to dive in, especially the diaspora that are educated. They need to read the book. They need to connect to Novelis to get information so they can process.
HaitiBizNews.com.
HaitiBizNews.com, exactly. In the last 20, 40 years, there are men and women like yourself, myself, that has committed to understand the profound. You have people that are talking about, that are blaming Haiti's poverty on voodoo, blaming Haiti's poverty on Dessalines and Pétion. That was 200 and almost 20 years ago, for crying out loud. Since the modern economy, you got things that are happening today that are constantly attacking the economy, that are constantly avoiding. You have children that are you feeding, and there's a thief every time you put a plate in front of the child, somebody is constantly taking that plate away, and the child is getting slimmer and slimmer to the point where the vital organs collapse and they die. You have players here that are constantly making it. This is how they create wealth, by cut, the life out of this economy. And then for some reason, we're not even talking about this enough. And when we do, it's just superficial way. That doesn't sit well with me. And this is why I produce high quality material in my discussions that you know, providing this sense of path where people can come to the understanding, look, we have a beautiful country, but at the same time today, it's not been beautiful. We have to commit, engage, do whatever it takes to clean up the economy, get the players to act in a more cohesive way where we can build wealth together instead of destroying wealth.
How do you? So I know you have the 100K initiative with Partners Worldwide, and it's about job creation. And I don't know, a lot of things you just said would certainly facilitate that. But how do you see that happen? How do you see mass job creation occurring in this country, given everything you just mentioned?
We need investment. We need private investment. It will take to create 1 million jobs. It takes 10,000 businesses with average 100 employees. That's how you create 1 million jobs. Okay, so you start with enterprise number 1. Okay, all the way to enterprise 10,000. Okay, so who are those business people? Who are they selling to? Is there enough purchasing power within this economy that can sustain 10,000 additional businesses? Because at some point in time, if you have more businesses in excess to what the market can sustain, the excess is going to go out of business. That's just basic economic principle. That's why we have to combine what we have with more export. So at some point in time, the 10,000 additional businesses will have an hybrid strategy to both target the local market, that's for sure, but also a lot of export. That also, in a way, will bring more dollars, that will bring more value into the good, right? I don't see any way out of Haiti without export. It's not going to happen. We're kidding ourselves. It is too bad that our government does not understand that. It is too bad that the private sector is not talking about it. It's too bad that none of our players, the diaspora, doesn't understand it yet. To have a good that has more value, you have to bring the dollar in. And if you don't export, then you don't bring in enough. The dollar the diaspora sent, just do enough, do what it does for the good, but it's not enough. We need more activities like that. It can solve this problem with less than 5 years. If you get 10,000 enterprises here that are exporting with $1 billion investment capital, all of them are exporting, you will solve this problem in 5 years. It's just that simple. You know why, Chris? At some point in time, we got to get there. We got to get to the point where it's clear crystal how many businesses we need, how many investment we need,
and start working
what it takes, and start working towards that. That's the only conversation that interests me right now. You know, the whole politics of Haiti is a deterrent, is a distraction toward getting these people really out of poverty.
So it's fantastic. And what I really want to ask to lead out in a way is, so our Haitian diaspora watchers out there, they wear 2 hats. There's the hat of investment, of those looking to actually do and open up a business, and they're always on the first one, how do I do it? And I have a few different videos that talk about it, but I'd love to hear your perspective as a businessman doing stuff here at different levels, you know, SMEs, you know, ground roots, things you've helped consult and advise. And then secondly, especially given what we're talking about with charities and not-for-profits, I know a lot of folks who they're engaged in sort of, you know, gathering backpack drives and gathering Tylenol drives. And so how exactly, specific to them, you know, specific to that not a big NGO with the big fundraisers, but just the person who's really passionate about the country and just wants to ask their friends for a few backpacks they can stick in their suitcase and get back. You know, how do those two different peoples, the guy sitting on the fence and looking to invest, how does he do it? This is the regular Haitian diaspora, and that regular other Haitian diaspora who, again, really cares for her heart, or his heart is very, and wants to do things. So I'd like to hear your perspective on that.
I mean, right now I manage about $5 million as an operating investment into all of my I'm doing, and I started really from nothing. And I would love to get my portfolio up to, 10, 20 million, but can the economy sustain it quickly? I've known a lot of diasporas that does invest in Haiti. I know them. They start restaurants, they start nightclubs, they start, car wash, they start block companies. I know many diaspora that does that. They buy small vans, going in Cap Haitian. Unfortunately, with that investment comes low oversight and low management. And almost 100% of those companies fail because they trust a little cousin or an aunt or somebody that just drained the cash out of the business and cut the life out of it. Almost 100%. So basically, number one, my diaspora friends, don't do that. Number one, don't start a business and hand it over to your cousin. You could give it to your cousin if he's honest, qualified, and could do a good job. Okay? Other than that, they consume what they know best. Just consume the cash today, right? Especially if they have a lot of needs. Okay? First of all, you need to bring the right people, the right time into your business. If you don't know somebody, that's fine. If they can fulfill the purpose of the business, and with the money that the business generates, you can actually help your cousin go to school, open another business. But you have to build the business capacity, the process, the systems, the accounting, process, human resources, even on a scale, on a small scale. Like I have a small business here that have 15 employees, and I also oversight NGOs and other companies with 300, 400, 500 people. And I invest in companies with 100 people, and the new company that I invest in hire about 300 people. So I know small, I know medium, I know big in Haiti. And I can tell you, small does not make an excuse for mediocrity. Small does not constitute an excuse for mediocrity. You have to take the time to learn the business culture here and establish a process that provide the support and also provide the security for your investment. Okay, you gotta control your inventory. You need a book that provide your inventory. Another thing that's important, they need to find the problem at the right time before it does more damages to their businesses that they can't come back from. So timing is critical in business. So the diaspora, what they need to do is to learn about the culture of entrepreneurship here and build a system that is consistent with what they need so they can secure the investment that they have here. Chris, almost 100% of diaspora that lost money here lost it for those exact purposes. And it kills me that they haven't learned. So far, they haven't learned the lesson.
The first Nou Pale is, I said, Haiti's a jealous mistress. She wants attention. So if you're going to be here doing business, you have to be here.
You have to be here.
On site to manage. Otherwise, it's just not going to work.
And I'll tell you, the millions of dollars that I invest in companies here, they're not my money. They're investors' money from America. In Texas, Florida, that I talked to, I said, look, I need $1 million to start an investment company here, and they give it to me. How then do I secure that money? I'm not in those businesses every day. I'm not. And for some reason, every investment we've done is very secure, and there's good return that's coming to it. It's about learning, applying. It's about also
solid processes, right?
Processes, right? Exactly.
So the charity, the Haitian diaspora who's looking to do charity the right way, obviously, I'd say first thing first, as I always do, read this book.
You have to read the
right?
book. You have to read the book.
But then, you know, how, you know, just that very small micro person, is it as simple as just go and find that local person, you know, who's doing backpacks? Like, is that as easy as finding the peanut butter and buying the...
It is that simple. Go online, find HaitiBusiness.com.
HaitiBusiness.com.
It tells you in your neighborhood who's doing what.
Great.
Okay? There's online directories. There's Haiti Yellow Page. Online, you can stay in Naples, Google it, look it up, and find phone numbers, and then connect with this business person. Okay? You're supporting children. Don't bring the backpack in. It kills the guy here that's making backpacks.
Say it louder. Don't bring the backpack in.
Don't bring the goods in. Bring the money. Buy it from the local guy, because the money help the little guy, also help put value into our good.
Yeah.
Okay, and those are the lessons people need to learn. And to be honest, we're on a good path. Believe it or not, Haiti, we're having conversations that we've not had for 200 years. Today. We're having those conversations, and the degree of readiness for economic transportation of Haiti is so ripe that I don't know the country will stay like this for the next 10 years. It's impossible. Pregnant women, babies coming out. Just brace yourself for impact. It's happening. You know, poverty does not belong to this land anymore. It belongs for us to create the wealth that we need to have better lives.
Yeah, and I think that's a good place to end it. Be hopeful, looking optimistic of the future. We know what the path is. We know what the playbook is. We just need to follow it. And I really do hope you folks, again, From Aid to Trade by Daniel Jean-Louis. It's out on Amazon. You can reach out. You can purchase it. Follow Daniel Jean-Louis on Facebook, on YouTube,
Instagram,
he's on all the social
Twitter.
media. Just search his name. He is a person to reach out to, talk to. And I really do hope this isn't the last time. I really do hope that we do get another chance to sit down and talk about all the different things you're doing and the opportunities that exist. Maybe when that next book drops. I've read it and I got some questions for you. So certainly we'll bring you back.
I know you'll read it.
I'm just waiting. I'm
appreciative.
Once you open up pre-orders, I'll be one of the first pre-orders. I'll tell you right now. I'm telling you. So
thank you, Chris.
No problem. So again, until we're back at it again, we'll be back at it again.